What's that? Do you hear that? You don't know? Have you not streamed the view yet? Dang, what are you doing then? It's all good. You can stream it now. We'll pretend like you weren't late to the party. Oh yeah, and one other thing. This is the view before the fall. Yeah, I'm literally wrapped up in a beach towel, y'all. It was really chilly outside. Here, we can pause this now. Sorry, Jack. I don't want to spoil the whole song for you guys, but you guys can definitely go on Spotify or wherever you listen to music and stream The View by Arbor Road. Let's get those streams up. Do you see what that is? Those are all of the stickers that I found. The cover to the cassette tape, a little bit of wrapping paper, a little bit of tape. We just put it up there. Jack's like, I have all of these other stickers that I can give you. We had extras. And I'm like, but why would I want the extras? Because those are the ones that I actually found and that were part of the vlog. So we're going to kind of break this up into two parts. We're going to talk about my reaction to the song, since I felt like I couldn't really do that in the scavenger hunt vlog because I couldn't get any of the cassette tape players to work. But I'm super excited just to kind of break it down a little bit more than I could have at the end of the actual scavenger hunt vlog. And I think it's good. We can kind of re-promote the view again and kind of have the scavenger hunt be the scavenger hunt and then the vlog and reaction now that the song is actually out. And then we can talk a little bit more about it now that you guys have heard it, because this will be out after the 25th, which again is such a special day because that's the day that I actually officially met Jack. So I think that the view just kind of randomly starts. Like as soon as you hear it, at least in the cassette tape version, it's just Jack automatically singing, which is good. We like that, right? I can just talk about it, right? Because it's already been out in the world. And again, I'm trying not to spoil it. I want you guys to go to your music platforms and listen to it yourself, just to hear the magic wrapped in this song. So it starts off and says, between you, me, and the moon, we could play our favorite tune. Leave your phone, I'll be there soon, illuminating by exit signs. Jack had actually posted about this on his story, but he doesn't have it highlighted, so now I can't go back and look at it, but it was like roller coasters. My initial reaction is just like, wow, this is so cute. Jack should come on the podcast too, so we can dive into the song, dive into his experience. But I just love lyrics, love words. I think I'm like my dad or my mom. I'm like my dad. My dad's more of like the music person. We're just very big on lyrics in our family. So we like lyrics, we like words. I was just so blessed to get to hear the song before the rest of the world. I have a tendency to journal when I listen to our friend's song, usually happening on Thursdays at 11 o'clock at night. But like you guys saw in the vlog, I was having trouble playing cassette tape players. So I had actually heard it a couple of times, but I was able to sit outside, hence the reason I was wrapped up in a beach towel, because it was cold. I was just journaling it and I was just listening to it. So a week and a half before The View comes out, I was actually hanging out with Jack and Grace in a parking lot. We were saying goodbye. It was dark and Jack and Grace were in the car, but they had the windows down, and Jack just started playing The View for us and I started dancing, and I think that somebody should have gotten a video of me dancing because I was just dancing so weird and so cringy, and that's probably why they in particular are really encouraging me to go to this dance, because I just have cringy dance moves and I probably need to learn how to dance for when stuff like that comes or I go to shows. So maybe that's why they're also trying to get me to learn how to dance. I don't know, but I just think it's really special getting to share music with your friends before the rest of the world gets to hear it. Especially listening to it with Jack and Grace. It has just been a very special experience. Another thing I want to say about that night was earlier we were with some mutual friends, and one of the girls was asking Jack when his song was coming out, and I was literally biting my tongue and trying so hard not to talk about it because it's so good and I just wanted to like spoil it, and I even didn't want to brag about it that I had heard the song before the rest of the world, even though that girl still follows me on Instagram, and Jack was posting about it too, so she definitely knew I heard it before the rest of the world. So as I was listening to it tonight, I don't know, but I think it was the end of it that just made me really want to go skydiving, which I don't want to go skydiving. It just had skydiving vibes. And so I want to know, comment down below, what kind of vibes does this song give you? What kind of experiences have you had or do you want to have while listening to The View? And like I said, if you haven't streamed it, it's okay. Go stream it. A little PSA for me or whatever. I think you can also comment on Spotify now, the Spotify podcasts. So if you just want to, I think you can just scroll up when you're actually on the page. I can put a little recording over the vlog, but I think you can just scroll up and comment on what the podcast is, definitely try to leave me a review, or you can also just hop over here on the blog really quick to leave me a comment on what kind of experiences you want to have wherever, in the comments, in my DMs, on my Instagram post, somewhere. Let's start a conversation and talk about the experiences we want to have with the view. We really appreciate it. Another thing that we would really appreciate is, I know I've been listening to it a lot on the cassette tape, but we'd appreciate if you just go listen to it and go stream it on Spotify like I will be doing, but we'd appreciate if you helped us, helped me, helped us, helped me, helped us, helped him, helped Jack get the streams up. So now we can talk about the scavenger hunt follow-up. I just wanted to give a little bit behind the scenes. The first thing is that royal cheesecake blizzard was so delicious. That Dairy Queen that I went to was right down the street from our church. It was just kind of off of a main road, and I actually probably drive past that so much. And speaking about the first day of the scavenger hunt, I was actually having major anxiety because, as you could tell, it was pouring down rain, and so I had stuck the mic in the pocket of my hoodie to try to protect it from the rain so that it didn't get too wet. And I had like gone to pull something out of my pocket, probably like my keys or something, and the mic dropped into a huge puddle of water, and the clip had, like this little clippy part, had actually broken off of the mic. It's just a little snappy part, so it breaks into two pieces because then you can like Velcro it right here. This clip had broken off, and this clip was still in the church parking lot. And if you guys don't know, we live like 30 minutes away from our church. So unfortunately I did not drive back, but I was having major anxiety that it was going to be lost. It was going to be broken by the time we had gone to 9:30 mass the next day. But when I went to go check before mass had started, I found it like as soon as we got there. That's what I was trying to say. As soon as we got there, I had found it, and I was so blessed that it is still all in one piece. The mic was perfect after falling into a puddle of water. I could not find replacement pieces on like the website or on Amazon or anything. I'd skipped hunting on Sunday. I had just kept watching the vlog over and over and over and over again, trying to edit it and make it perfect. So I hope you guys did think it was perfect. I also think that I did not want the scavenger hunt to go by too quickly. I said in the vlog, Mandala Drew AR, what the heck does that mean? But shortly after that, I had figured out that it was actually at the Roxy. And so we had Theology on Tap right down the street from the Roxy. So that's another reason why I wanted to wait until Monday. Like I said in the vlog, there was a car show on that street. So it was busy. There were vendors and so many people just walking around, drinking, looking at cars, police, and it just was not the vibe to try to look for the clue. Jack had said it was near the Roxy, so I was just walking up and down the street around, like, you know what I mean? Like, not on the bench at the Roxy, like right outside the Roxy. So we went to Theology on Tap. Jack and Grace had actually met me there, and they're like, let's go for a little walk. And I was just like not in the mood. I just wanted to hang out with Jack and Grace aside from the vlog, give them some undivided attention, like I said in the little comments of the video, like if you read the words on that screen. But Jack was kicking benches and checking how sturdy they were and commenting on how sturdy they were. So when Tuesday came around and I went to my book club and I went back to go hunt, I knew it would be under a bench. So I was just laying on the ground trying to look underneath the bench, and that's when the man came up and was like, are you okay? Why are you laying on the ground looking under benches? And I'm like, yeah. Now we're at Wednesday morning. I had a church date with myself. I had actually made a YouTube short about that, so you guys will see that eventually. But I had gotten locked out. I couldn't figure out how to get in. All the doors were locked. Ended up having to call the parish office, and we got in right at the homily. Went to my podcast interview, and the next location was 10 minutes away. Like we said, the hint was Randitch Lights the Way, and I had walked past the stickers so much, but I just was not on that side of the street. I was on the other side of the street, and so I don't think I was like turning my head towards there and looking at all the street signs, so Jack did a good job with that. I thought I didn't know how to read numbers. Like, when your hint is just numbers, I was just so lost. But I think my 40-plus-ish minute drive on the way home, I was, like, trying to figure it out. And I was like, I think this is the address to my church. And Jack had made it very clear multiple times I was not allowed to cheat. And I was like, is this cheating if I look up the address to my church? But I didn't. So I went over there, and Jack was like, this is going to be very hard for you to find without help and assistance, and I was expecting that, so let's just FaceTime. All of the main doors to our church are double doors, so there'll be the set of doors and then like a short landing space and then another set of doors. So there is like no space to hide a cassette tape. I was like looking on the ceiling, but I'm like, no way would it be on the ceiling. So we ended up FaceTiming Jack, and he was sharing a lot of stories about church bunches and his experience with church bunches at our church. And so that's how I knew that it would be behind a church bunch. So I quickly hung up with Jack, and then that's when I started the vlog. And maybe thankfully, somehow my mic wasn't hooked up properly all the time. So I actually had filmed way more, but then when I went back to go edit, there was no audio. So it helped cut down a lot of my footage that I had. So now we can talk about this little guy. Like you guys saw, there was a lot of technical difficulties trying to get the other cassette player to work. So that's why Jack mentioned to go to Walmart to try to buy a little cassette player. So I went to Walmart, and either the girl just was not wanting to help me, or they really didn't have cassette players. But she's like, we don't have that. So I was in the parking lot. I was calling Target. The girl on the Target phone, such a sweet lady, she was so confused and was like, I don't think we have one. Called Meijer, because that was another recommendation that Jack had. The guy at Meijer was so confused. And we ended up finding this one for $20. Again, could not figure out how it worked. For days, I was able to hear it once, and then I was never able to play it again. So it wasn't until days later when my sister had like sat down and looked at it that she was able to figure it out. And she's like, this is what you do. Went to Target to get the batteries because we didn't have proper batteries for this. Tried to figure it out due to the instructions that came in the box, but the instructions were just way too general. So since I finally figured out how to work, I've been bumping to the View, and you should too. Also, I was really wanting to make one more song reference to Losing My Religion by R.E.M. or REM. We had heard it in Buffalo Wild Wings with some friends, and they told me someone that they knew had a personal experience with the song. So I'll keep it anonymous, but shout out to you. We are so thankful for you and your support and keeping everybody safe at the campus concert, I think. I hope. Finally, I just want to give one more shout out. Thank you so much to Jack for finally coming out with your debut single and setting up the scavenger hunt and all of the love and support that you've been on the vlog, including the fancy little mic, wireless mic, even though this has a wire. And shout out to Grace for all of the work she did on the hunt, including designing the stickers. Go to gracenagowski.com for more information and to see some of her other work, plug. And we'll sign out the vlog by saying, I can't wait to all be together someday, hopefully soon, at the Roxy with Jack on stage. Ciao, babes.
Hey everybody, Jack here. This is Ida. Her videos are great. You should subscribe.